sound good.
Can you hear me?
I was hearing a weird sound. But...
Yeah, it's some of the stuff he does is ridiculous. So I think he's Australian.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name for Australians? What do they call those? Aussie?
Aussies.
Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, look at this. Look at his explosiveness.
It just keeps going up,
Yeah.
levitating.
And then he does it with 250 pounds.
He does that. Oh, no. This is tear his knees out.
No.
His quads are going.
No, he's probably the most. They talked about him on Joe Rogan, but he does this one with, I think it's like a Roadhouse thing behind him where it says gas station ready. It's just like...
He looks like Michael Myers, like you said. The plaid shirt.
It could be him.
And he doesn't put his face on. I wonder why.
Well, I think because they've talked about him before on Joe Rogan and trying to get him on. And
yeah.
I think there's just like dude's just doing his thing.
He doesn't want people to know who he is.
Yeah, he's got like a little baby and, he works out all day, multiple times a day, and tends to the farm and moves the hay and...
God, a man's man right there.
Man's man, yeah.
What if he's got a fucked up face, though?
Oh, he doesn't. I've seen it. There's one picture
You've
of him.
seen... Really?
There's one picture from the front, and he...
Let me see a frontal.
So we're talking about this guy named Tom Haviland on Instagram. We may have to share... need to share a clip, but that's what he looks like.
It doesn't even look real. God, he looks like the final boss in G.I. Joe.
That's his face.
All right, so he's definitely on some stuff.
I think he's natural.
No.
He's natty.
That's what they say about everyone. I bet he's natty.
Natty or not.
The Rock's natty.
The Rock's not natty.
No.
Have you seen there's like some allegations going around of coming from LeBron's camp about one of his managers who I think got raided by the FBI for having, I guess they tracked him down with PEDs, some type of performance enhancer. And this dude is like, there's a picture of him standing next to LeBron. He doesn't look like he uses PEDs.
Oh, so
he's getting them for someone.
He's the supplier.
Yeah.
The doctor maybe. Was he on LeBron's high school basketball team? Is that one of the guys?
Maybe. I'd have to probably find out his exact name.
It's not Maverick Carter, is it?
No, it's not Maverick Carter. I know who that is.
It's a LeBron henchman.
Yeah, it's not Rich Paul.
Well, there's a story about that came out, and it was actually Savannah James. The
wife?
Yeah, this was a whole lawsuit, I think, where she ended up popping for growth hormone or something.
What?
Have you... More Plates, More Dates did a full coverage of this, I think.
And they said that
Unless I'm still dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. Kind of like maybe his manager is like the fall guy. Savannah's the one who's on the doctor's note getting the juice.
Chael Sonnen, I remember listening to him on Andrew Schultz, said that
he's fun listening.
He called out LeBron for taking PEDs. But I think it was on Patrick Bet David. They were talking about it. About
LeBron's PEDs?
Yeah, the link between LeBron and biogenesis investigation with James Camp declining ESPN's request to interview him despite providing applicable information to back up their questioning. So it's like, yeah, I mean, does the longevity, is that natural?
I'd always heard LeBron is like, you hear two sides of the coin, right? The one side is LeBron spends $1 million on his body, and he's just all about recovery and everything. Then I've heard the other side where it's like he's going to McDonald's after the games. He's drinking McFlurries.
Well, isn't that what Usain Bolt does too?
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Usain Bolt eats McDonald's. Or was at one point eating McDonald's during his reign.
So maybe McDonald's isn't that bad.
I think if you're able to process the food.
DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that interview where he basically was telling I think it was Kevin Garnett. He was like, yeah, I pretty much just drink coffee. I fast till 3, and then I'm a big candy guy. I eat gorgeous candy for the rest of the day. And then
so
he
then
eats a
how
big
does
meal.
someone build a physique like that? They haven't been doing that forever. Like, they probably built up to a point where they can just maintain that, and then...
That seems
He's not
so
eating that.
insane.
He's not eating that. There's no way.
You don't-
Just that.
Well, no, he said he eats a big meal at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So... And he's a freak, too. So maybe it is
trade
genetics
request.
from the Seahawks.
Yeah. He's coming to Chicago.
That'd be cool. He's he's huge. You
I could see him ending
field.
up in like Tampa or something.
There's
There's a lot of NFL changes coming. It's going to be an exciting NFL season.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited. Fantasy.
Caleb Williams, year 2. Jaden Daniels, year 2. Oh, my gosh. We got the Bears helmet down there.
Yeah.
Wear this.
One of the quarterbacks paints his nails black. The other one.
Everyone's painting their nails black.
Who was
That
the first?
76ers guy does it too.
Well, yeah. He's
What?
gay.
I don't think he is.
He does the TikTok dance routines.
But he's like 20. You know, that's like
So he's
what those guys and girls grew up on.
Yeah. Who was the first guy to do the black nails? Was it MGK? It had to have been MGK.
Maybe Dennis Rodman.
That's right.
He was a funky nut. He was painting his head like a tennis ball. Or like the leopard pattern.
Yeah, he would. And then
And
he'd
have you ever
party.
seen anyone in public with like that kind of hair pattern?
Never.
It's like a weird thing to look at.
Well, are you talking about like the leopard type deal where you
Yeah.
painted it?
Well, yeah, or you got it bleached.
Yeah. No. No, I've never seen that.
I mean, bleaching is just like the worst thing you could do to your hair.
Yeah.
It just like kills all the hair follicles.
It looks pretty cool on some people, though.
I think in high school that was a part of our hazing. If you made the freshman baseball, it was like stages: freshman, JV, varsity. If you made freshman team, you had to bleach your hair,
Yeah.
and so I had a buzz cut at the time, so it went straight into the scalp.
Yeah.
And then I think if it was JV,
I'll take these off.
it was like jet black, I think.
Okay.
And I think if it was varsity, if it was your first time on varsity, they would shave your head or like make like they could pretty much do whatever they wanted, and you had to wear it to school for a day.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, but you can't do that anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it's considered hazing.
Oh, jeez. Everyone's so soft nowadays.
I mean, what do you think? You make the varsity team, you're feeling good about yourself, you're in high school, and all of a sudden they give you a Friar Tuck haircut, and you got to wear that to school.
I feel like it's
Is
not
that
that big of a deal. Like, unless you're so... Yeah, just showing you're part of the tribe. Like, everyone's got to do it. That's how you get in the Illuminati. Everyone's
So
gotta
is that hazing?
do the elephant walk.
Yeah.
Hazing is something... I feel like that's not. I feel like hazing's more like you have to do something like really embarrassing, or like something that you have to chug this bottle of vodka no matter what. Like this type of stuff that pledges do in college, you know?
We need to get Connor Cook on the podcast. Tell us the
Tell
dark
all.
stories.
For
Turn his back on Sigma Chi. Because me and Jack, we weren't in any fraternities. Wasn't really our style.
No, we weren't. There's a lot of good benefits to them. I feel like just the networking aspect, and it's kind of like the Illuminati. You know, it sounds crazy, but you all get a group of guys and you go through something crazy together, kind of like the military too. And after that, you're kind of brothers for life. So in that aspect, I'm like, that'd be kind of cool to have a
But
network
it's
of
kind of like
people.
a humiliation ritual in the sense too.
That
It's
is a good
we're gonna
point.
get you super fucked up, or you're gonna dress like this
Yeah.
on campus all day and be my bitch.
That's honestly the worst part. I thought would be like, all right, dude, you gotta like literally like you're gonna feel like shit. You're abusing your body, lack of sleep. Grades are gonna suffer. But then you get the pick of the litter with the women.
Yeah, you get to go to the formals. You get access to the parties. I mean, that's definitely, that was like such a weird.
Who do you know?
Yeah.
Who's your
Show
dad?
up to the door. Name 5 pledges. Name 5 brothers. And you don't, you're getting curb stomped.
There's a lot of scandals with those. You know, there's just so much alcohol. It's kind of crazy how they get away with it because everyone's underage in college. And then they're all, I mean, literally, it's like, what else is going on in the pledge houses? And it's a huge party, all this alcohol. People are all
they're
underage.
not doing Bible study.
Yeah. Who knows what goes on in the basement?
Well, I think it's, I mean, imagine you're like the chancellor or like the president of, you know, a university where 80% of your student body is going to be under 21 until obviously your junior, senior year. It's like, so you know that drinking's going on. You know that people are smoking. You know that, you know, people are doing whatever they're going to do.
Kids will be kids.
But it's kind of the same thing of like, keep it inside. Don't let anyone see it and we'll let you go on. But if there's a fight or, you know, someone gets blacked out, you know, but that shit happens all the time. People die from that on a yearly basis.
Oh, yeah.
Alcohol poisoning, sleep deprivation, DUIs seem to be a huge deal now in colleges, especially with the athletic body. And maybe that just gets more media attention, so you feel like it happens more. But
yeah, it seems like every couple of years it's a hazing story where a pledge was hazed too hard and he died. He woke up dead. And it's like, oh, yeah, on to the next.
What they call it, Edward 40 hands, where they tape the 40 ounces to your hands.
Yeah, that's...
You'd have to finish drinking them by the end of the night. It's like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's just... I don't like drinking enough to even consider, like, chugging anything.
Oh, my God.
Like, a shotgun is enough for me.
The worst one I heard was they locked all the pledges in the basement, turned the lights off, and blared fucking... Hell's Bells or something. They blared some music forever, and basically like 4 or 5 hours you just had to sit there like music. Just that's freaking torture.
Yeah, that's like military torture.
Yeah, and hey, you make it through, you're better for it, I guess.
Yeah, I remember I heard this story, and then we can move on. But there was I think these kids that I met from LSU, which, you know, LSU, the SEC is going to have some pretty dominant fraternity Greek life. Yeah. And if you haven't been to the SEC, if you're in college and, you know, the scale of these houses and how big they are. You know, I've been to other schools and seen what fraternity and sorority houses look like, but even at Arkansas, dude, like, these places are massive. And they're, I mean, the sorority houses are really nice, and then the fraternity houses are like shit stains. It's like you walk on it and the floors are sticky. But I was talking to these dudes, and I was asking them kind of like, what was the worst thing that y'all had to go through? And this may or may not be the worst thing that they went through, but they told me it was a part of some type of initiation night, and the rushes or the pledges, they have like an older brother, right? It's kind of like their...
Yeah, there's some sort of mentor.
Yeah, like a hierarchy. And so the older brother... They pretty much went to the grocery store, and the intention was to find the nastiest thing that people would drink. And so I think they had like a beer. You had like whatever alcoholic drink you were going to drink, and you closed your eyes, and the older brothers would come in with whatever supplies that they had to make your drink nasty, and they'd like pour it on top or make it for you. And they were doing like fish juice and tuna and just the nastiest, smelliest stuff you could ever have. And so they forced these dudes in this room to finish their drinks, and they only had one trash can in the middle. So you got like 80 guys that are chugging this nasty stuff. One trash can. All of a sudden, everyone just starts puking. And so you're trying to find the trash can because you couldn't throw up on the ground, or else you'd have to clean it up. And so
you're throwing up on someone's head.
That's what he told me. He's like, you know, you get to the trash can, you're puking, and then someone's puking on you, and it's just like a puke fest.
Dude.
And I'm like, that's where I would there's no shot in hell that I'm participating in that.
You just wonder, like, the reactions of the big brothers' faces when this is all going on. Like, are they just getting off on this, seeing their freaking little pledge?
I know some of them certainly do. It's like a power game. It's like, I dominate you. It's like, you want into the club? Suck my dick.
Price of admission.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't think I ever could have. I could never even see myself, like, submitting to do things like that.
Yeah, me neither.
And one, just like, I don't like
that.
partying like that.
Yeah.
It makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, we're always about, self-improvement, bettering ourselves, going hard in the gym. So that lifestyle is never attractive.
Until it's Saturday night and you got nothing to do.
Yeah, it's twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah.
Got a Burnett's bottle to yourself. And a revolver.
Playing Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, how's everything going? How's your week? How was it? Do anything?
Busy, grind.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we talked about it kind of at the beginning of March. And actually had this. I've been taking clients later in the day. So working a little bit later in the day, which, there's two sides of the coin. You can either look at it as an inconvenience. Man, this is outside of my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But the other side of it is like, fuck, dude, you want to get to the top? Like, you're not going to just succeed only in the 9 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
And avoiding the weekends, which is 27% of the week. So if you don't do shit on the weekends, you're giving up 27% of potential productivity or potential moving forward.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to one of my clients who I'm training late at night now, and he works for Omar's Tires, which I didn't know who they were, but they're like the largest tire manufacturer in the United States. Oh, shit. And he works 7 to 7 every day, no days off. He's got kids. He's got a girlfriend. And I was like,
putting in that work.
I was like, do you ever stop? He's like, I don't have an option to stop. He's just like a workaholic type of thing. But he looks at it from the sense like, I want to get to the top. This is what it's going to take. So
it's good for him, man. Yeah. Like, there are a lot of ways you could look at it. Like, what is like the average person going to do? They're going to go in on the 9 to 5. They're going to take a 2-hour lunch break. They're going to do all these things, but they're not working on the weekends. So
no.
If you really want to get to the top, you got to think of it like, what is my competition doing? What can I do to elevate above that? I was listening to Andrew Tate. He touched down in the U.S., if you didn't know.
I saw that.
Yeah, but he was talking about how men shouldn't be happy. And that
men shouldn't be happy?
Men should not be happy. Suffering should be our main modality in life. And it's basically like, we can give to others and we can make other people happy, but we're never going to be happy. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's definitely a pretty intense outlook.
Yeah, he's an intense guy, but it honestly does make sense, because he was like, if you wanted to be happy, you just end up doing drugs or drinking or avoiding stuff. But contentment comes from working hard and achieving your goals and success and all those things. So a lot of what he says kind of sounds hyperbolic on the surface, but really when you dig down into what it is, it's a lot of like good masculine things. Mm. And he's clouded by the whole human trafficking ordeal that he dealt with in Romania, which he hasn't been convicted. He spent time in prison, and he's got another court date coming up, but he's such a unique character because he is speaking out against a lot of like the woke bullshit.
Yeah, but he's not. I don't think he's the proper messenger. Like,
you disagree with his messaging?
Yeah, but also like I saw the video the other day of him like beating up this 14-year-old girl.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's
take
like,
everything I just said back.
Yeah. And you're going to get a poster of him in here.
He was beating up a 14-year-old. Yeah. Why?
Because I think that's just kind of who he is, honestly.
All right. I don't believe this video, dude.
I mean, I'm going to find it. Yeah. Andrew Tate, like.
Beating up a 14-year-old girl is just absolutely insane.
Yeah. Andrew Tate has kind of come into what, maybe the last like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, this is bad.
Yeah. And I don't know
Oh my
what
God.
it says. He's like 25 in that video.
Yeah, it says he's 25.
I don't know how old he is now. So it's, years ago, I guess. But I think that's who he is. Truly.
Oh, shit. I mean, like, bro, what? Okay. And then there's this comment that's saying that's not a 14-year-old girl. She came clean and stated it was a role play that she was into. I mean, it's just fucked. But to begin with, we don't condone that, and that's wrong.
No.
So.
But yeah, I think there's better people to listen to that have more uplifting messages, but also walk the walk. Like, I think it's easy nowadays to, and I think we kind of touched on this last episode maybe, or 2 episodes ago, and talking about like what people do for social media, and it kind of made it seem like I was projecting on others when I'm not guilty myself of, trying to create images or get attention, because I'm certainly guilty of those things too.
Same.
But yeah, like, you want to find someone almost like a role model, someone who says all the good things, but does all the good things too, especially when they're under pressure and they know the spotlight's on them. Because it's really easy to, only talk about good stuff when you're sitting at PBD's desk, and then videos of you like that exist. It's like, you got to be a little cautious. Kind of the same thing with like Dan Bilzerian now too. It's like he's somewhat become like a mouthpiece for the right and speaking out. And it's like, bro, like let's look at your lifestyle. Like, are you the person that I should be listening to for guidance and
Probably not.
moral values? No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there are certain people in the spotlight that we can look up to, which is good. And there's a lot of them. That video is kind of fucked up, so that kind of got me thinking, damn, fuck. Yeah. But everyone's got some sort of past, but yeah, let's uplift like the Rogans, the Jordan Petersons, the PBDs, The Rock, all these people that are actually, talking the talk and walking the walk.
Yeah.
Like, people that are successful, like Andrew Tate, Donald Trump, Dan Bilzerian, all these people have like shady sides of them, right? But they're very powerful and very successful. Kanye's in that group, in my opinion. But you just got to decide what's your moral compass and what are you not willing to do, and kind of go from there. But yeah, it's crazy because Andrew Tate said he has a university, and he's got I don't even know, thousands of people that pay him $50 a month to learn how to make money. And it's just like, dude, like, what are you learning in this university that's going to make you? He's like, you'd spend $50 and actually go for something and try to make your goals, or you can just sit there and be a pussy. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Dude. It's so conflicting, bro.
Yeah. It's kind of like that movie yesterday or last night.
Yeah.
$50, like, you can change your life. You're getting someone to kind of realize your own like self-deprecation and get you to spend money for them.
Like the betting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of that movie?
I liked it. I mean, I agree. It was drawn out. I'm talking about Two for the Money, which is a classic Al Pacino, early Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
He's a, kind of washed up athlete, had a bad injury, and somehow finds himself in the sports betting market before sports betting was legal.
He was advising people, making his picks, and then caught wind and met up with Al Pacino, who was kind of his mentor over in New York.
The kingpin of sports betting.
And you just see how that went downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so good, and then it flips.
Always going to lose. But then he won the last one.
But then he quit. That was the main point.
Yeah. Well, he was forced to turn into a different person.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
That was weird. He was kind of motivated by money.
John Anthony, the $1 million man with the $1 billion plan.
I want to say, like, dude, Matthew McConaughey doesn't even act. I feel like he's just is. Every movie I've seen him in, he plays the same character.
Yeah.
Like the smooth guy who's
good with the ladies,
great,
charismatic.
Yeah, who's also like from Texas, and he's got that side of him where he's kind of a badass and he doesn't like to follow orders. Dude, he plays the same character in every movie except Interstellar. But even so, he still plays. I think that's what makes a good actor, is that they can just play themselves in any role.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you've read that Green Lights book, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
he's a role model.
Yeah, that's
He's
what I'm saying. I think that's a good example of someone who, other than I remember he made one comment a few years back where he must have been invited by some Texas legislator to speak on gun control.
Oh, Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah, gosh, talk about fraud.
Dodging a bullet.
Yeah, Beto O'Rourke.
He's the Trojan horse.
Yeah, fake Mexican. He is. He's not a Mexican.
I didn't even think he was a Mexican. He looked white.
Yeah, he just looks ill, pale and gross, and he's the person you wouldn't leave with your kids. Ted Cruz, on the other hand, it'd be all right.
Take it to Cancun.
Yeah, but no, I honestly think Matthew McConaughey's done a really good job of staying out of negative situations. You know, for someone that as successful as him, as good looking as him, as charismatic, typically like you're gonna find some problems or some stories that come out.
Yeah,
I don't think I've really heard anything from him, and from the book, like, you know, if that's true, he loves his family so much, and
yeah,
he's got a great relationship with his wife and with his kids, and seems like he understands exactly how to exist in Hollywood and make movies, but also still focus on what's ahead of him and what's actually important. And that's kind of the green lights, you know?
Yeah.
So that book, I love that book. It's a
good reread.
Good message. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of what he said was amazing. He broke down life into like categories. Like you have your family life, you have your work life, you have your spirituality, you have your physical body, and all these things. And he kind of talked about moments in his life. Basically, it was all his journals compiled, and he went back and wrote that. And I want to say that's when I first started journaling too. I was like, oh, he's kept journals for freaking 25 years of his life. And can you imagine, like, if you did that, going back and like reading, like, wow, this is when I was heartbroken for that one girl, and this is when I fucked up and did that, or this is when my best success was. What was I doing? And that's kind of what he talked about. He's like, we always love to analyze our negatives, but let's actually analyze the positives. What was I doing in my life? What were the habits I had that led me to this great thing? And I kind of took that away from the book. I was like, dang, like when I get in a rut, I'm like, okay, well, when I was doing good, what were the things that I was following? What was my schedule, my morning routine? What was I eating? Mm-hmm. What was I consuming? And even this goes into kind of what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to do a little Instagram detox. I got to get off, bro. I noticed it. I'm like at work, and then I'm like, click. I'm like, why am I like, I'm like fucking fidgeting to pick up my phone.
Yeah.
When I need to be fucking Andrew Tate making paper.
Need to be grinding.
Yeah, so I'm Instagram detoxing.
Smart.
But no, Matthew McConaughey's great. He's you know, I want to ask you a question. This would be a good conversation, but say you had to pick 3 people that you go out and have like a steak dinner with. You get to pick their brain. I feel like he'd be a good.
Yeah, I feel like he would
be
one that I would enjoy talking to.
Yeah. So many stories.
Yeah.
He lived in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
He said that was
Texan,
weird.
You know. Yeah, I think he would be a really good conversationist. And he just seems like a good dude to like spend some time with.
Yeah.
Now he's the guy you want to invite to your tailgate.
Yeah. He's in Austin. Let's go meet him.
I would say Matthew McConaughey, and I'm sure there's probably other actors. If Like if I was going to make that kind of one person, I feel like there's other people that I could entertain.
Yeah, who would your other two be? I was going to do 5, but 5,
Yeah,
I feel like
that's a
you
lot.
got to pick 3 and kind of you can narrow it down.
I don't know. What are yours? Well, I'm thinking of mine.
I'm going with, oh man, I got to cut one of them out. Okay, so Matthew McConaughey would be cool, but I want to do Rogan,
Yeah.
PBD, and Jordan Peterson. Those are my 3. I'd love to freaking... It would be kind of a long dinner probably because each one has their own kind of realm.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's so cool that we get to kind of listen in on these and have these people as role models. You know, I would say those 3 are probably my biggest role models on the podcast, like
The podcast
entertainment
realm.
sphere.
Yeah. I don't know. I would also like to listen to The Rock.
Yeah,
Dwayne Johnson.
absolutely. That'd be sick. I mean, he's so successful.
And then my last one. Maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really?
Yeah, just from
Yeah.
like the bodybuilding side to,
Oh my God.
you know, obviously he's a man of many talents and, you know, was governor of California and, you know, big time movie star. But I don't know if he would be I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to think of a little bit more.
Yeah,
Because I know there's some good people out there that are kind of hidden in the shadows.
definitely. I mean, there's so many. That's
like
the
shit,
thing,
dude.
man.
I would love to sit down with Tom Brady.
Well, yeah.
Like talk about
Yeah.
greatness. Even Aaron Rodgers. I feel like I would
Oh.
connect more with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, but I would love to hear both of them just like unfiltered.
They should do a sit down.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
Aaron
But-
Rodgers is he's an enigma.
Yeah. He gets, I mean, if he wasn't a professional athlete, he certainly would not have received the criticism he's gotten for, you know, the last 3-4 years of just him being outspoken on what he
Agreed.
cares about. You know, like what a weird world where just because someone's an athlete, and that's kind of like that shut up and dribble. You remember when that kind of became a movement?
Yes.
It was definitely more of like probably like 2018 on, especially starting with like the NBA
LeBron.
and some racial tensions and, you know, some of these athletes being outspoken. And then on the other side, you got members of the media. You're an athlete. Like, we don't care about your opinion. Shut up and dribble.
Yeah. I mean, that was just such a short-sighted statement. I can't remember who said it. They're probably
Yeah.
not even working anymore. But, yeah, the people that are covering the NBA that have never played in the NBA are telling the NBA players that they have no opinion on. They're humans. Everyone's human. Everyone
Yeah.
can have their opinion. And that's the thing with Rodgers, too. He actually said his opinion and made me really respect him even more. I loved him as a football player and a QB because he was sick, but just someone who stands up and like goes against, you know, the narrative and like follows his heart and stands with that. It's like, damn, fucking love that shit.
Because he's got more to lose.
Yeah.
Like national attention. You say the wrong thing. You know, look what's happened now. Like, there's probably half the world that don't even know him. And at the end of the day, we also don't know him. And the people
No.
writing these headlines about him don't know him.
No.
And I think he's okay with, like,
The mystery.
yeah. So he would be a good conversation. But, man, every time I hear Tom Brady speak, because he is, like, outside of the broadcasting, like,
Elite.
he's done some long-form interviews sometimes. And it's like, man, this guy just fucking cares about winning and being the greatest and doing it the right way. Because he, like, kind of rags to riches with his career. Like, last pick,
Yep.
6th man on the depth chart, told Robert Kraft as soon as they drafted him, this is going to be the best decision you've ever made. Just like having the belief that if I just keep working my tail off, I'm going to get there. And he's the best of all time.
Super role model. Tom Brady's freaking the GOAT.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so maybe Brady. Trying to think if there's anyone in music Who would you do if you had to sit down with like a musician or an artist?
Oh, I'd love to talk with Russ. Sit
Mm.
down with him and talk about his rise, because he owns all of his music. He's an independent artist, and Nipsey Hussle would be really cool. Both of
Yeah.
them. Nipsey kind of did sort of the same thing and revolutionized like merchandise. So like just the business aspect of it would be really interesting to me. On the creativity side, I feel like Bob Marley. Bob Marley's like fucking. I shed a tear when I watched that movie.
I know. Yeah, you were talking about that movie for a while.
Because that movie was amazing. I didn't know a lot about Bob Marley, but
So
he
what's
was
his kind of story?
so Jamaica, right? I don't know what year. It was probably the 70s or something, but they were having like this political revolution going on, and it was getting really bad. And Bob was like a popular artist, and he was performing, and then at the end he would actually like sit there and talk about like one love, we need to come together, and like fuck all this division. And I don't know the total details of like what the division was about, but then they were like, Bobby, you can't really, like, you got too much to lose, like don't say that. Just kind of like the Rogers thing. But he's like, fuck that, no. And then these gunmen came into his house and tried to fucking kill him, and he ended up getting shot, or his buddy got killed or something like that. And it was basically followed his life story, and he was just like a fucking, just so at peace, bro. Like he was just so like still in his life.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it is what it is. He was gonna do what he was gonna do, and yeah, love that movie. May have been on a little shrooms when I was watching it. I had a little bit of an emotional.
Yeah.
Like, why is this dude crying over here?
Bob Marley portrait right there.
Yep. I got my Bob Marley pillow over there. Just kidding.
Yeah, I was looking for something.
What about you on the music scene?
I mean, I definitely would want to talk to Logic because he's just,
yeah.
he's just my favorite, and
Yeah.
I think his message is I feel like he would kind of be similar to Russ in a way. I feel like there's a reason we both like them.
Agreed.
Just because I think there's a message, and I think there's vulnerability and honesty about kind of who they are, the struggles they've gone with. Because a lot of people talk about that in music, but there's other people that bullshit that, and it's like,
Good point.
I'm this and that, and then outside of music, you're a completely different person. Like I feel, at least I hope I feel that those dudes are what they say they are whenever they're recording and whenever they're not recording.
Yeah.
So yeah, Logic would be one, and then Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll. No,
I
he'd be
wouldn't.
awesome.
I probably would not do Jelly Roll. He was on Joe Rogan too.
He'd start sweating on you.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, he was on Rogan. Shout out Jelly.
Man. I don't know, Cody Jinks.
Just go ahead and say Drake. We know you want to.
Yeah, I would talk to Drake over Kendrick for sure.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I'd like to talk to Drake.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you can't ask these people the same questions because they're all different. They all have different upbringings and past. But Drake, I mean, it'd be more about like handling the success and like what's it like to be the number one ever.
Allegedly.
No, that's true. Kendrick's been bumping his streams.
Yeah, it'd be cool to talk to him about everything. But no, going back to Logic, yeah, I'd love to talk with him too, because he's kind of the first hip-hop artist, first concert I've been to, first guy I connected with. And yeah, you can just hear someone's music sometimes, and you're like, damn, that's actually real shit that they're speaking. And him and Russ, it's like, Russ is like kind of, in a lot of ways, different than Logic, because I feel like Russ is more like just uber confidence, like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna make it, all this shit. Logic was kind of like, I feel like I like Logic's music more. I feel like there's more, like, the beats are better, but I like Russ's mentality more. It's kind of two different mindsets.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of like the Bobby Tarantino, like the mixtapes was kind of like the OG where he's like talking. He hasn't made it yet. And sleeping on.
Young Sinatra.
Yeah. Sleeping on his couch and, you know, asking money to buy cigarettes. And he's like, give me a few more months. Like, I'm right there. And then finally hitting that breaking. But that's also like.
Love it.
Like having a group of people around you that like truly believe in you, where they're willing to sacrifice their own well-being to make sure that you're going to reach your potential. And I think that's really cool.
Absolutely. He had that. He had a big limbo, sleeping on his couch. But yeah, that's huge because you like vibe off of someone's energy.
Yeah.
And I feel like me and you are this way too, where we're like, you train today. It's like, yeah, I did. I got it in. We like check in on those things. It's like talk about women together, you know. But having that same like energy of like we want to fucking just get to the top.
Yeah.
Is really valuable. Having a mentor is very valuable too. And some people don't have mentors, but there's a lot of mentors online, like we talked about earlier. But no, it's good stuff.
Yeah. We need like a Logic intro song. Need Logic to get on the pod. He wouldn't do that.
Come through the bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh, you slept pretty long this morning. Did you have any crazy dreams? I had a crazy one.
I feel like I did, but I can't remember it.
See, I never remember mine, but I actually woke up and I wrote it down in my notes.
What is it?
So basically, I had enlisted in the military. And I was at a military base, and I remember being like in my like military fit and whatnot, and I saw people in the dream that were like also enlisted, and all these other people, like I'd recognize them from high school. I can't really tell you their names, but like I recognize the face, and they were like looking at me like, "Oh, I'm surprised you're here." And I was like, "Okay, weird." And then we did this like training exercise, or like it was the first day, like we were out in the field, and then like all of a sudden like these smoke grenades come in, and like shots are being fired, and I started running. I ran back into the barracks, and the barracks turned into like a big like house type deal. And so we were just like kind of running around there, and I had a pistol, and I killed someone in my dream. Like I put the pistol I think it was a girl's head. And
oh my God, is she sleeping? Or she was an enemy?
I don't know. It was like, I'm pretty sure she was trying to kill me. She was on the ground, and I headshotted her with the pistol. And then we ran in the house, and I'm with these other people, and they're chasing us in this house. And then I ended up losing the ammunition to the pistol. Like I had it in my hand. I was like going to reload the gun, and I put it in the sink, and then the sink like had a hole in it, and all the ammo went out. And so then the guys are coming to get us. And yeah, we were just running around, and that was kind of how the dream ended. It was very weird.
Interesting.
So
how do you interpret that?
Well, when I saw people that I knew, and these people were not people that are actually in the military and things like that. It was like people that were struggling in high school, or like people that I wouldn't necessarily look up to or wouldn't be friends with, but there were people that were like bad kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when they saw me and they were like, "Oh, I'm surprised you're here," it made me think of like when I was considering the military. And I was like, well, shit, that's not really my path, kind of. And then they were surprised, like, "Oh, you had so much potential. Why'd you just decide to do this?" That's kind of how I viewed that. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But I'm glad I wrote it down. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to write down the dreams if you can remember them.
And then killing that person. I don't know what that means. means I'm about to kill this life.
Yeah, I don't know if I've really had too many dreams of killing people versus more like me getting killed.
Dang. You switch
It's
that
like
mentality.
You're getting like chased. Remember one, I was like getting chased by someone and I was on like a bridge, I remember.
Whoa.
And like there were all these cars abandoned, kind of like barricades set up. And I remember I was running and there was like the road was blocked off, so I had to like kind of jump and climb over this thing. And I remember I'm climbing and then stab right in the back. And I remember while I'm sleeping going like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, like, almost like I had been stabbed, and you're kind of like, I don't know, it was weird, but I remember that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I think it's
So
more
weird.
so a fear of stabbing.
That's why you had that.
I think so.
Very interesting.
Because it also could have been like, could have just watched Scream the night before.
Yeah.
And it's like now my fear, my anxiety about this or that is going to manifest into some type of dream. Or I'm being chased and I'm scared.
Dude, isn't that so weird? Like, you literally go to sleep, your brain's like repairing itself and your eyes are twitching and you're fucking in another universe having this, and you remember it. That's the weird part. And then it like fades away because it's like,
The subconscious
what
brain.
the fuck is that?
Well, that's what, you remember that Matthew Walker guy? The
Yeah.
sleep doctor. That would be a really good re-listen podcast. But he talked about how like your dreams aren't gone. It's like you wake up and you're like, why can't I remember something that just happened and it feels so fresh in the memory? And he talks about almost like how you've got like all these files in your brain, like all these lost files, thousands and thousands of files. They exist there, but like you somehow have to find a pathway to access it again.
Ooh.
And so,
Interesting.
yeah, but he says like writing it down definitely helps. But yeah, it's just like a weird thing. It's like a door that you have the key to, but you can't get it.
Yeah.
I want to remember this, but why can't I?
It's like the harder you try, it's like the further it goes away.
Yeah. And then 3 months later, you just get like something crosses your face and you're like, oh my God, I remember that dream. It's like, why does that happen?
It's so weird. Like, even déjà vu.
That's a weird thing.
Like thinking you've done this thing before, you've been here with that person before. It's like, have you in another life?
Yeah,
Is it a
another
multiverse?
another alternate reality. That's what I think some people believe. It's like the intersection of like realities crossing over is what that deja vu moment is.
It reminds me of Westworld.
Yeah.
You ever watch that?
Oh yeah.
Where it's kind of like I don't even know what they're called, but the bots, they start to like realize they'll have like a dream about being in like the laboratory when they're being programmed, and they all start to wake up.
That's such a weird, but that's like
Getting deep.
I mean, that's like $1 billion, they made it appear like it's this $1 billion operation, exclusive operation where these people come in and
Yeah.
you get to fuck these bots and kill and pretty much indulge in your darkest fantasies. It's like a very strange thing. And they start revolting and, Westworld was that was thought-provoking.
Definitely. Like, to go to a place where you can do whatever you want, there's no consequences. You can kill, you can take what you want, and all this shit. Yeah. A lot of people would do that. I mean, it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's a weird game.
Yeah, like, I don't know if I told you that, but I can't remember who said it, but it was like every school shooter played Grand Theft Auto and was on antidepressants or something.
Yeah, 100% since they started tracking in like 1953 or 52 school shootings.
Yeah.
100% of the people have been on some form of antidepressant or SSRI.
Dude, like,
That's
that
like
shit's-
fucking crazy to think about.
people need to talk about that because I think Gary Brecka was talking about SSRIs and how it's not even like, what did he say? He's like, you don't have a serotonin issue. You have well, you do, but you have like an issue synthesizing it. And that has to do with a nutrition deficiency. And he brings everything back to like, let's get the basics done. Vitamin D. Everyone's fucking deficient in vitamin D.
Yeah.
Go touch the ground, touch the earth, magnetize with the earth, get some sunlight, circadian rhythm, all this stuff. Going back to how we used to live, there's no technology. And Gary Brecka is a freaking crazy. I would like to talk to him. He said something. So Gary Brecka's background, they call him a biologist. I think that's his schooling, but he was working for a life insurance settlement company.
Mm.
So
was he like valuing?
He was estimating. He was working for a company that was making money off of buying people's life insurance policy. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So like someone who's 80 years old, they have no people left that are going to get their life insurance policy, would go to his company and be like, all right, I want $1 million up front, and then you can get my $3 million when I die.
Oh, so they're pretty much just like naming another beneficiary almost?
Something like that, yeah. It's still kind of confusing to me, but anyways, he was valuing people's lives, like deciding when he thinks they're going to die, and he was like elite at it, which is fucking crazy. And he was saying that he's like, when someone first gets on a corticosteroid, he would subtract their life expectancy by 6 years immediately, full stop. And then he was like, after that, we'd estimate a joint replacement 3 years from then. Jeez. And then we'd estimate he's going to die 10 years from there. And he was like, I did my whole first half of my life doing that. And I was like, wow, this is kind of fucked up. And then he's like, now my second half, I'm going to help people. Mm. If you think about it, like his brain is almost like an AI computer. He's seeing all people's medical files, their if they're a smoker, if they're a drinker, what their lifestyle's like. And he's making these super big like meta trends on like what's actually longevity and what's making people die faster. And so he has that background, and then he goes into the health space. And he said this. He's like, cholesterol is like a huge thing for people, and people need to realize, in my book, when someone has high LDL cholesterol, that's actually a biomarker for longevity. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you don't need to be on a statin or a blood thinner. Like, it's your lifestyle and all this stuff. But when he said that, I was like, dude, how is eating eggs and eating fucking steak bad for you? And yeah, he's a fucking interesting guy. Mm. He sells a lot of products too.
Does he have his own like supplement line or whatever?
Yeah, Perfect Amino. He talks a lot about methylation and how it's hard for people to absorb nutrients because of the folic acid or something crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think about him? You got an opinion on him?
I haven't done enough research on him. I think, I mean, especially within the health and fitness space, there's so many experts that all have their own different methodologies and principles and theories, and obviously not everyone's going to agree on the same type of things. But I think if you are helping people, I think that's proof that what you're doing works. Like, you don't have to help 8 billion people. Like, that's not your entire market. Because I know Gary Brecka has received criticism from people that label themselves more as evidence-based or doctors. And it's like, well, you know, this isn't true, or this is actually how this mechanism works. And it's like, well, he's clearly helped people, and he knows what he's talking about. And someone who has a lot of years of experience reading files on why people are dying and why we aren't living longer, I think he's probably in a better position than a majority of people to get on the flip side and realize, how can I make you live longer? So yeah, no, I think Gary Brecka's fine. Like, I got nothing against him.
Yeah, he's just like positive guy too, and he sells hydrogen water bottle. It's $300. It hydrogenates your water for you, and
that's bullshit.
There's thousands of studies on hydrogen and how it reduces inflammation. It's good to have in your water. And
so it's just a water bottle that
you press a button and it pumps hydrogen ions into the water. And it would be the easiest scam. And it could be.
Well, it's the same thing with like the pH water.
What's that?
You know,
Yeah.
What's that brand called?
I know what you're talking about. Armor?
Essential.
Yeah, you're right.
Essential or Essentia, or something like that. And it's like, I've received a lot of questions about that since working in health and fitness. People are like, is this water better for me? It's like, I'm like, how much water are you drinking? Like, oh, well, I'm drinking the pH water. And it's like, what does that do for you?
Well.
They're like, well, it's got a better pH balance. I'm like, it's bullshit.
Yeah. There's definitely a difference, though, I think, in drinking tap water versus filtered water.
Yeah.
Would you say?
No, I would agree. There's definitely a difference there, too.
Like, tap water is fucking... Can't drink that anymore.
Yeah, the pipes are rusted. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's gross.
So many, like... And then you get into, like, the water that's... I mean, the water in the tap is filtered shit water. No one wants to talk about that.
Yeah, but there's really no way to... Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's probably a cleaner process out there that
if you think
isn't
about
taking place. I knew someone that worked in one of the water filtration plants in Nashville, and or she worked for like water utility services for the state. And she would go to these plants, and it is shit water that they're... I don't know the chemical process, and it takes a long time and a lot of effort to get toilet water back to... I think they call it like potable water.
I don't like that word.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, well, we all got to drink water. I mean, think about how much water. But then think about
we're made
oceans.
of water. Our body's like 80%, right?
I think it's like 60%, 60 or 70%. Yeah, you're spreading fake news. Yeah, which is crazy to think like, yeah, if you're 200 pounds, you're telling me, what's that percentage?
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Then you also got to think like, you know, when they talk about if you were to, I think it's like if you take all your veins out and you were to like,
oh yeah,
it's like miles and miles long. And that's just like, how is that possible?
it's really amazing. Like the human body, it's a miracle. Humans are, I mean, just divine creatures, bro. I mean, the creator did a fucking crazy job.
And the same thing with animals too. I mean, anything that's leaving plants, it's like, damn, like everything has their own specific mechanisms that allow them to live longer and adapt. And
yeah,
the roots of a tree and the complexity there and how they communicate and share nutrients with other trees, and it's the remarkable impact that wind has, and, you know, shedding. It's just like, holy shit. Like, and I'm worried about traffic.
Yeah, it's really something that me and Cal were talking about. We want to just like go stay at like a cabin, just get out into nature, you know, just like feel the energy of the, you know, the forest.
And that's what's like, it's a stupid question, and I'm not saying this is my best form of conversation or, you know, sparking up conversation with strangers. But I remember during when I was like doing a lot of grounding, if I were to meet someone new, especially when I was working in the bar, you know, when you're talking to drunk people or whatever, and I remember asking people like, when's the last time your feet touched grass? It's like kind of a stupid question, like bro-y question. But I just remember, because it was important to me at the time. And so you kind of talk to other people who don't know what grounding is. They don't, you know, prioritize being in nature.
Yeah.
And you would ask people that question, and they would kind of look at you like, shit, I don't know. Like, I really don't know when's the last time I put my feet in grass. And a lot of it's, you know, we kind of live in concrete jungles now where, you know, these big land pastures are being torn down to build the fucking mall, to build, you know, a parking garage,
shopping
in our nice
center.
Houses. Yeah, nice houses.
Shoes.
But yeah, it's like when you go out there and you actually do it, whether it's placebo or not, like it certainly makes you feel better.
Yeah, in Nashville, you did that a lot. You would go walk, and you had a really nice what would they call that? Centennial Park?
Yeah, Bicentennial Park.
Yeah, that
Where it's
place
like
was
this
really cool.
State capital or the city capital. It's all perfectly symmetrical.
Nashville's an awesome place. That's awesome. But yeah, Gary Brecka, that's his protocol. Wake up, take your shirt off, touch grass,
Yeah.
get some sunlight, and hey man, he's kicking it. He likes the ice baths too, a lot.
What's his reasoning?
Reduces inflammation, and then it's also like a breathing thing.
Yeah.
Where he does a lot of diaphragmic breathing, just like floods the body with oxygen.
Oh, I remember that one video. I think Cal sent of he's like sitting outside breathing like that.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, I need to do that.
Yeah, you gotta train for that though. That's like a hard thing to
get to.
Yeah, because I remember doing the Wim Hof breathing, where it's like, you know, first you got to understand that like most people think you're just breathing through your chest, when you can breathe through your belly, you can breathe through your head, or you breathe through your chest, you can breathe through your head. And so you kind of start training, okay, let me start by breathing through my belly. Now let me move that breath up into my chest. And then let me move it into my head, and then big exhale.
Then down into the...
yeah, down into the testes.
Expand.
But I remember doing it. And I think he says Wim Hof says it's good to use as kind of like I guess like a building phase in your day. Like let's say you work a big long day, your halfway point, like you need kind of a pick me up, or you're feeling a little lethargic, feeling tired, stressed about finishing the day. So he says that's when it can be beneficial. So I remember doing it then. And I had to kind of train for it because I couldn't do it and I wanted to be able to. It's like, okay, let me lay down at night and just like breathe through my belly for 10 minutes and then breathe through my chest. And so I remember laying on this couch in the gym up in like the kind of office rest area, break room. And I was laying on this couch and I had like 15 minutes before my next client came in and I was tired.
Yeah.
Just was not feeling very positive about the rest of my day. And so I just started doing it. And he's got like a YouTube video that I would just turn on, kind of like a guided breathing.
Okay.
And so it gives you cues on like how long you should be inhaling, how long you should be exhaling. And so it's like a 15-minute video. And I remember just like trying to be like really intentional about it and like almost aggressive with it, with my breathing. And dude, all of a sudden like my body starts getting really cold. I'm feeling like really light, like kind of tingly, almost like I was like, it was a euphoric feeling. Like I was almost like high.
Yeah.
And like I remember getting up and like felt like super energized and just like very, very in control of my body. And then I never did it again.
That's the last time you ever felt
I got
that.
it to work once and I'm like, all right, I'm good.
That's what they say. It's like you can get to a state where it feels just so amazing when you breathe like that. And I did a yoga class last night. And, you know, a lot of yoga is mind, body, and soul or spirit. But you use your breath to, like, get, you know, the stretches going. And it definitely is something that you need to work on for sure. Because I haven't been to a yoga class in a while. And it took a little bit of time to, like, try to get my nose to go breathe through my nose, and she even was like, breathe through your left nostril and out your right.
Breathe through your left nostril and out through your right asshole.
Dude, it was like the type of yoga you go in, and it was like we were part of this like commune. This lady, she's like talking about her chickens. She's got a farm.
She have armpit hair too.
Yeah, she did.
Really?
No, I didn't see. But it was a good yoga class. We did I told you about this, but we did a relaxation exercise where we laid down and just got real relaxed. And she was playing these sound bowls where she like ding the bowl and it'd give you like this different vibration, and then she'd go around like rubbing the bowl. It sounded real nice, just relaxing. And then the fire department comes down the street. And then someone's fucking Amber Alert went off.
Oh, God.
Dude, I was in like almost peak meditation, and then Amber Alert went off. I was like, I thought it was going to keep going, but it stopped. So, and it sucked because that yoga studio is like right on a main street. So you can hear all the people chirping outside and the cars driving by. So it's kind of a sucky spot. I don't know what you could do for that, but
Soundproof the walls.
she could do that. Spend some money. Because I went in there for free.
Yeah. Yoga is kind of, I mean, in a perfect world, like those things should be accessible to like everyone every day.
You can do it anywhere.
I know, but like, yeah, there just has to be a shift. Like if we truly want to be better as a society and as a people,
Yeah.
like we're not headed in that direction.
Where I feel like we're headed towards Band-Aid society, or a what you call it, a pill society, where instead of finding the root cause, you decide to find the shortcut, take the pill, put the Band-Aid on.
We're symptom treating rather than root cause diagnosing.
Yes.
Yeah. But like, yeah, how amazing would that be? It's almost like a utopia. You know, imagine you're living in a downtown city. You wake up, everyone's kind of gone through the same routine. You all meet at this grass field. People are doing their yoga, doing their breathing. You know, it's just like, I want to live there.
Sounds a little creepy.
No, it's almost like, you know, the simple things that everyone could benefit from. Why can't we just all have that a part of like a mandatory, not a
Whoa. This is getting a little
vaccine.
Yeah. It's getting a little
Show me your COVID card.
Communist
Get
over
in
there.
there.
Sounds like you're trying to start a cult.
I think I'd be a good cult leader. Yeah. You can. There's like a test for that.
What do you mean?
Like you can take. Well, if you do like one of those like Clifton strength tests, which is like typically managers or bosses will tell employees, or even if you're in the potential of getting hired for something, they can have you take this, what they call like a Clifton strength test. And it's a bunch of, like a lot of these personality quizzes and exams. It's just questions that, you know, you answer this.
How would you
answer this?
do
and
with the teammate?
Yeah, you finish it and they give you kind of a detailed dive on, all right, here are your strengths. Here are the positions that you could exceed in. Here are some of your deficiencies. Here's what personality types you vibe with, all that stuff.
Okay.
But I think you could probably figure out, like, okay, if this person has these, they're clearly a leader. Like, are they influential? Could they get people to follow them?
Yeah.
Like, how confrontational are they? You know, it's like, so then you could kind of gather information and be like, yeah, these match the personality types or traits of people who have been cult leaders or
Definitely
religious figures in a community, whatever the case is. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's honestly how the tribes operate, right? It's
one
like there's
leader.
a leader of a tribe and
Yeah.
you get these people to follow because we're all on the same mission, and you kind of have to be within these parameters to exist with us. And if not, then you get kicked out.
Yeah, that's how everyone started out, you know, the tribe mentality. That's why people are scared to speak in public. Because if you say the wrong thing, you get ousted from the tribe. And that's kind of the argument between, are we born with like an ethical framework, or we learned it from like being in the tribe, and you can't do that. You can't sleep with the tribe leader's wife. They're going to kill you. You can't steal. Do we learn it from that, or were we given that from God? That's what this says in the Bible. But we do have an evil, sinful side to us that we wrestle with.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Serpent.
Yeah, that fucking serpent.
What's the most evil thing you've ever done?
Oh, it's a good combo.
I want you to answer the question.
Okay. I don't know. I've never killed anyone. I'm a good person. I have never done anything evil. How about you? Sounds like you're hiding something over there.
No, I have not done anything evil.
We're saints.
Yes.
Unless we're in the bedroom.
Have you ever I thought about this yesterday because I went to, our cousin's golf tournament
Yeah.
and I caught this kid cheating.
What?
Yeah. It was literally, I met them it was like a shotgun start. So everyone kind of goes to different holes to start off.
Yeah.
So they started on hole number 5. I met up with them on hole 7. And it was a threesome. So just 3 kids playing.
Yep.
And the expectation is that we're kind of governing each other. So you're playing with 3 guys. Like, I'm going to keep track of your score. You're going to keep track of his. He's going to keep track of mine. And so, but you're also there to focus on your own game. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about, oh, what's that kid doing in the woods over there?
True.
And so they all hit their tee shots. They're all kind of right in the middle of the fairway. And everyone's kind of doing their own thing. And one of these kids was to the left near the cart path. And I don't know the rules of what, maybe the golf pro told them about the course and like, hey, if you're on this side, because that's typically what happens. Like, hey, we've got standing water over here. So if you fall in this area, you can get relief. Man-made barriers, that stuff you can get natural relief from without any penalty. But so I'm watching this kid and he's to the far left. I'm watching Parker and this dude just picks up his ball. He's kind of like looking around. He just picks up his ball and walks closer towards the hole and just drops it. It's a par 5, so they're still like 350 yards away. But so this is his second shot.
So he just moved it forward,
Just moved it forward, thinking that he probably was getting relief from this area, but he made an illegal drop. And it's high school golf, so it's not like there's millions of dollars at stake. And
do you think he knew he was cheating?
I think he knew, because then he tops his next shot. So now he's hitting 3. And so I'm still watching Parker. I'm still watching the other dudes. We finally get up to the green. And I have a piece of paper, too, so I've been tracking everyone's shots. And so they finished the hole. It was a tough hole for everyone. It was the number 1 handicap, so the hardest hole in the golf course. And the dude that I referenced earlier, he had a 6. So he bogeyed the hole. As soon as he finishes the putt, and I'm like standing maybe 20 yards from the green, it's quiet. You can hear everyone's conversations. And so they all finish the hole, and they're like, all right, what'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get? And this guy's like, yeah, I got a 5. I got a par. And I was like, bullshit, you did not get a par. And so I told Parker. And I said, hey, man, like, he did not get a par on that one. Like, he bogeyed.
Yeah.
And there were multiple other times throughout the round where he finishes the hole and they're asking about scores and he's like 7 or 8, 6 or 7, whatever, And it's like, no, there's a specific number and it's just like, but so what is motivating that guy to, obviously he wants to do better.
Yeah.
So if I can shave some strokes off. But I remember when I was playing, you'd find dudes they'd hit their ball into the woods and they're kind of walking down and they throw a little pocket ball out. Hey guys, found it. It's just like and I know I've been guilty of, giving myself a better lie, and I feel, I'm embarrassed to admit that stuff, but,
well,
I don't know why we do that. Why we have an inclination to cheat a little bit, to just be a little bit better,
It's probably because it's the ego. You don't want to lose. You want to win. You want to be viewed as a winner, not a loser. And that'll make you do a lot of things. I mean, problem is if you try to do that, say in business, you end up lying.
Oh, yeah.
There's consequences that you could go to jail or be sued. A lot of people have done that. People lie, make up, oh, yeah, I had this client, or whatever. The whole government did that. USAID. I mean, it's pretty common, but yeah, I saw a guy. I've had 2 instances where someone's cheated playing golf, and one of them was in high school, and I'd play with the same guy, and he's a great guy, but he would continually cheat, and it's like, dude, like, why are you cheating? Or just playing for fun? Like, I don't care that I'm better than you. But it was just so weird because he kept cheating, and we never called him out for it, but we're just like, it's kind of like embarrassing that you're doing that, but whatever. And then there was a guy I played golf with who did the same thing with the ball. Like, he's like, all right, he hit his ball in the woods out of bounds or whatever. He said, all right, Jack, you go look for my ball. I think it's on that side. He's like, I'm going to take my cart this way. And I was like, all right. And I'm like walking this way. And then I turn and I see him like drop the ball. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
So buried under the grass.
So you can really tell a lot about a person too.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like, what are you going to do when no one's watching?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a lot of different examples in life. The shopping cart theory. It's like, it's not illegal to not return your shopping cart. You're not going to go to jail, but we all know it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
So why is it such a struggle for people to, something that they grabbed, to just walk 15 feet and put it back?
I think it's people that just don't care about anything but themselves. But
so it's more rooted in selfishness, you think?
Yeah, I also think, like, I can't remember who said it, but it was like, whether or not you think God is real, it's better to live your life as if he is real. Things start to work out for you better, and people end up having better lives, and they start to live in a way where, like, oh, I need to do the right thing or else I'm going to go to hell or whatever it is. And they end up doing the right thing, or karma if you believe in something like that. But if people don't, they think it's me. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to fuck over everyone I can, just get what I want. Man, it's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that bothers me when I see people not returning their shopping carts, so they throw it up on like the grass, next to where the tree is and the light pole is. I'm just like, man, like, fuck you. And I've told people before when I was going to Publix, and it was like remember the one in Nashville kind of near my house? It was like underneath in the parking garage. Yes. So they're like, if you leave a shopping cart in there, like, it's going to hit someone's car or it's taking up like a space.
Absolutely.
A parking spot. And I remember I was walking, I would always park from the back because it's kind of crowded in there. So I parked at the back, and I remember I'm walking towards the entry to the store, and you're seeing people come out, with their grocery bags and everything, grocery carts. And I was catching this guy, like, older guy, like, as he was finished putting his grocery bags into his car, and he kind of like rolled the cart like to the side, to the left, outside of, his car's view so he could back up. And he started getting in his driver's seat. I said, hey, man, you need to put that back.
What'd he say?
I can't say on camera.
I was like, fuck you.
He was like, he was shocked. One, that like I kind of called him out. It caught him off guard.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to put that back. And I was like, I wasn't like, fucking put that back, pussy. Like,
no.
Or I'm going to beat you
told
up.
him.
Yeah, I just told him. And I was like walking as I told him. So I didn't like stick around to be like, I'm going to make sure you put this back. But I told him 2 or 3 times, and he was pretty silent. And then I kind of turned around, and I was walking back in, and I could see him putting it back. It's just like, why is it? What if you had a kid? And like, that's the type of example you want to set? Yeah. That's like the low IQ bullshit.
Yeah,
that you kind of deal with in your daily life, that just like, it's like, man, should I really have hope that things are going to change for the better?
Well, you got to have hope that people are going to come around to doing the right thing. But yeah, I saw a person one time just litter a whole bunch of trash, and that's probably the worst one. I remember when I was little, someone littered, and they like threw their water. I think we were on a field trip. They like finished their Capri Sun or whatever and just threw it out in the fucking trash, or I mean in the grass, and it really made me mad. I don't know why, but I just knew it was wrong, and that pissed me off.
But yeah, that's exactly it. Like, you have this feeling in your belly.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a wrong thing to do. And even, yeah, it's like, I've done that before where I've been, I try to throw something into the trash can. I miss. It could be something as small as like a paper straw wrapper. And I'm like, fuck. And I'll like take a step. I'm just like, I'm walking, I miss, and I know that I miss. I take a step, and I'm like, fuck, and go back and put it back in.
Yeah, it's almost like, who are you when no one's looking? Like,
yeah.
Like, what type of character do you have? Are you going to be that person that takes shortcuts and lives in a pigsty and doesn't give a fuck about anything? Or are you going to actually care and have some self-respect for yourself? Because I think that's what it comes down to, self-respect. Like, just living in a way that's you are going to be that person. You're going to be the bigger person. You're going to, I'm trying to think of an example. Like when I saw the guy on fentanyl in the gym and he's about to fucking die, I'm like, no one's going to fucking check on him. What if that was me? I want someone to come help me. So there's moments like that where, or I'm sitting at care now and this guy runs out and he's like sitting on his tire and he's like real bad guy. And then the nurses come running out and then the last nurse comes out in a wheelchair. I'm sitting right by the door. Like, am I going to be an asshole and not open the door for her?
Yeah.
It's like, who gives a, like, got to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Doing the right thing is so important.
It also makes you feel good.
Yeah, it does.
They talk about like that neuroplasticity, like reworking the mind, reframing the mind. And the first initial step is like doing things for other people. And like, it makes you feel good when you hold the door for 5 seconds to let the mom and her kids come in. She's pushing a stroller. So I could just be like, fuck it, and close that door. And, you know, then she's got to, so it's like, you want to, if it takes just a little bit of effort on your end to help someone out that, you know, may need it or may not need it. Like, so yeah, it's definitely a good thing. But yeah, dude, that littering stuff,
that one's like, probably the worst.
Yeah, I see people all the time pull up to stoplights, open their car door, fucking Wendy's bag out the window, throwing junk out the window. And I'm just like, that pendulum's going to swing back. And I hope it fucking hits you square in the nose. Because that just, it's almost like the same thing as like people who abuse animals.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
yeah, it's bad.
Like, I think those are evil people.
Yeah.
Like harming defenseless things that can't hit you back. They can't talk back.
Finger out on them, yeah.
And like it's the same thing as like throwing shit into the woods, dumping trash into the woods, dumping trash in the grass and the ocean. It's like, you know, this is not going to harm you in any way, but it's easy for you. So let me just go dump my fucking oil waste into the harbor.
We should take a pee break. I gotta pee.
You gotta pee.
And come back.
How long
have
we been going? Dang, hour 22.
It's pretty good flow.